Now let's break down our next story of the day, discuss the ongoing war on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Then we'll dive into CZ's latest price predictions after the Bitcoin halving, and then we'll jump into our live Q&A. So yeah, how many of you watched the Joe Rogan Experience recent episode with what's his name? OpenAI CEO Sam Altman. Let me know in the comments. Now, the chief executive of artificial intelligence firm OpenAI, and how many of you are familiar with OpenAI and have been using it? Let me know. Says that the U.S. government is waging war on crypto assets. That couldn't be any more apparent with Operation Choke Point 2.0, right? In the new interview on Joe Rogan's pod, OpenAI CEO Altman says, and ain't that a funny last name? Altman, we got Sam Bankman-Fried, and we got Sam Altman. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Says the government's actions against digital assets are upsetting, but adds there's a clear role for regulations within the industry. Quoting him here, I am very worried about how far the surveillance state can go here, but in a world where payments, for example, are no longer bags of cash, but done somehow digitally, somebody, even if you're using Bitcoin, can watch those flows. I think that's a corruption reducing thing. There are many things that I am disappointed that the US government has done recently, but the war on crypto, which is a think is like, we can't give this up. So let's control it. That's the thing that makes me quite sad about the country. However, Altman goes on to say that he is not anti-regulations, citing the multi-billion-dollar collapse of FTX as an example of why they are needed. Well, the regulators were in cahoots with Bankman-Fried, guy. Just saying. Quoting him here, I am not anti-regulation. I think there's clearly a role for it. And I also think that FTX was sort of a comically bad situation. What does Gary Gensler have to say about the collapse of FTX? I'd love to hear his thoughts on it, wouldn't you? Altman, who started the identity-based crypto project WorldCoin, which FYI, I do not trust as far as I can throw, just pointing that out there, also says the existence of currencies not controlled by governments like Bitcoin is a huge technological step for mankind. Quoting him again, I helped start a project called WorldCoin a few years ago, and so I've gotten to learn more about the space. I am excited about it for the same reason I'm excited about Bitcoin too. I think this idea, what we have, a global currency that is outside the control of the government, is a super logical and important step on the tech tree. So there you have it. But like I said, I don't trust this dude because his WorldCoin, people were lining up. They were doing advertisements in the mainstream media for this, and they were scanning their retinas. Any cryptocurrency requiring you to scan your retina for identification is a little shady, to say the least. In my humble opinion, WorldCoin sounds too familiar with New World Order coin. It just sounds like the opposite of what Bitcoin represents. So look no further than the King Crypto fam, because Bitcoin is the only antidote to the CBDCs, which are the central bank digital currencies. It is the only truly decentralized crypto, and nothing else can compare to it whatsoever. So don't get confused and don't get twisted when you see these creators of altcoins, especially with the last name Altman, pitching you their favorite cryptocurrency of the day. So you have been warned.